Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So, what's on tap for today? Well, we've got another great reaction video of our favorite Senator Josh Hawley questioning various generals on the inferiority of the base housing for U.S. servicemen, and also what's going on that there's a directive supposedly for pronoun usage he, she, it, they, whatever on base. We're going to find all that in the next few seconds, but before we do so, just want to let you know you're watching the Dr. Nasir Sheikh Show. I'm your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Hit that notification bell. Let's get to the reaction video right now.
Much to the ranking member, and thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks to the witnesses for being here. General Stitt, let me talk with you. Let me start with you, if I could. I have spoken repeatedly with the Secretary of the Army about replacing aging homes at Fort Leonard Wood in my home state, and there is no doubt in my mind that service members deserve better than they are getting right now. I was just there a few weeks ago. I toured the homes myself. I spoke to residents. I spoke to spouses. I spoke to children who lived in the homes. These homes need to be replaced. What concerns me is the Army doesn't seem to have a plan to replace this aging housing stock. So let me just ask you this. In your opinion, how does the availability or maybe lack of availability of quality military housing for service members and their families affect recruiting and retention?
Before we get to that, just very briefly, can you believe it, folks? Housing is substandard, inferior. We spend nearly $150 billion we're giving to freaking Ukraine. We can't give 10% of that. Can you imagine how much $1 billion, how many homes we could build and rebuild for our service members, men and women that protect us, that sacrifice for our country? It's really, really sad, folks. I mean, what the hell is the Department of Defense? What are they doing? That's unbelievable.
Senator Hawley, good afternoon. The Army takes the care and quality of life of all of our service members and their families very seriously. So we are making and committed to investing in our housing within not just that, but within our daycare centers, child care, offering opportunities, expanding beyond that for spousal employment, to put kind of a whole package on the table to ensure that our facilities and our care and commitment towards family members is first class.
When you say a whole package, when will we be seeing this package?
Senator, we continue to work on it, and I can take that question for the record, please.
Well, that's fine. I mean, but let me just say again, for the record, I've said this in the full committee, I'll say it again here, that I think we're past the point of continuing to kick this down the road. I mean, this is a problem now. Frankly, at Fort Leonard Wood, it was a problem a decade ago. But listen, I've been there. I mean, I've seen it myself. I've talked to the service members myself. I've been in their houses. I've been in their kitchens. I looked at their bathrooms where there's mold growing. I've seen that they don't have places for their kids. I've seen the substandard living conditions, and it just isn't acceptable, General. You know what? I promised those service members that I'd be a royal pain in the you-know-what until something changed. So I'm keeping that commitment, and I'm going to continue it until something changes. And frankly, I've heard this now it's going on 2 years. I've only been in the Senate 3, but I've heard it continuously that, well, we'll get to it, we'll get to it, we'll get to it. Well, at Fort Leonard Wood, we haven't gotten to it. And I bet, if we went around the table here, I bet that the other members of the subcommittee would have the same situation in their state. So I'll give you the question for the record, but I just want to put on notice again, and you can take this back, that I want to see some progress on this, and I want to see it soon. And what I don't want to see are any more commitments from the Army that they're going to spend X number of dollars. This happened last year. We're going to commit X number of dollars to Fort Leonard Wood, and then as it turns out, $0 were spent on housing. I'm still ticked off about that. And I don't want to see it happen again, and I want to see progress made. So that's my piece. I think you understand where I'm coming from. General Miller, let me come to you.
Just wanted to basically again say that this is just incredulous. But we've heard about this. How many times have we heard about it? That, you know what, armed service members, they have to get food stamps. They have to get loans to continue to survive, or the other spouse ends up enlisting, but then the kids are by themselves, or they're with the grandparents, or with other people, or whatever, family members. So both people, okay, are deployed overseas. I mean, this is unbelievable. Yet again, this is what we talk about. We give so much money in overseas commitments to allies, sometimes even to adversaries, we give money to. And yet we can't spend 1% of that money that we're giving for our overseas commitments. We can't spend that on our own servicemen and women to fix up their homes, to give them, interest-free loan. I mean, this is just unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Let's continue on where he's going to be talking to another general on the use of pronouns at an Air Force base. Come on.
Can you help me with something here? Anderson Air Force Base, I understand. This is in Guam, of course. Leaders there recently received an official email that prohibited them from using pronouns or descriptors like he, she, youngest, oldest, male, or female. Why is that? I mean, what's going on?
Senator Hawley, thank you for that question. Actually, that is, we've been talking a lot about that because it was an email, from my understanding, that went out locally from one of the commanders there, and I don't remember at what level. I don't know if it was a group commander or the wing commander there. I believe that it was a Facebook post that went out based on a question. It is not the Air Force policy to not use pronouns. And so I think it was a social media, exacerbated by individuals that said that they were directed for that.
Okay, good. Well, I think that's progress. So you're saying, I'm looking at a news article here published August 31, 2022, saying that PACAF has sent this letter around. Leaders of the base are instructed, do not use pronouns, age, race, etc. And they go on, the unauthorized, examples of unauthorized language are male, female, youngest, oldest, he, she. But you're saying that was not an official communication, that has not been a directive.
That is not an official communication from the HAF, correct.
Okay. And so your position to me is today that is not policy and that they have not been so instructed.
That is correct.
This is a social media
policy.
kerfuffle. I mean, this is not real. It's not happening.
I don't know if it's not happening, but it is not an official policy from the Department of the Air Force.
Okay. I ask because part of the way it's been reported is that the rationale is to help with lethality and also recruiting. And it was curious as heck how not using he, she can help with lethality and how it's helping with recruiting. But I take your word for it that this is not policy, and that satisfies me. So thank you.
Okay. I let that roll, and basically saying it's good to know that it is not official policy, but I happen to think that there are some places where within the administrative capacity of the armed services that there are wokesters out there, that there are woke generals, male and female, that are that would like to, because they want to be in the good graces of this administration, of the Brandon Biden administration. And that's how you move up. You don't move up in ranks anymore, basically, okay, due to your expertise in battle, your expertise in terms of foreign policy. No, you move up now because of wokeness, because of your social justice warrior stance. And the social justice warriors, I mean, these guys, these generals, now she basically said here that it is not an official, communique from the Air Force. But somebody put this out. So either it was put out as a joke, and if it was put out as a joke and it basically, then of course on social media, it just runs with it, right? We all have seen that thing happen. Okay, so if it was a joke, it was just put out there. Okay, fine. But if the person who did this, a base commander, decided that, you know what, I'm the base commander. It's my, this is my kingdom. I'm going to run it the way I see fit. And you know what? We're going to be wokesters. I'm going to be I'm a warrior. I'm going to be a social justice warrior right now. And we're not going to use pronouns, or we're going to use pronouns and we're going to eliminate certain words that I don't like. So either a base commander or somebody out there put this and said that this is what we're going to do, or as Josh Hawley was saying, is this just some type of a joke? Is it something that we just put out there and then just got spread on its own as if it was official? She's saying it's not official. Okay, fine. But you know as well as I do, folks, that the armed services are utilizing whatever capacity, whatever policies that they can put forth to be the experimental lab for everything that's going on in the United States of America, right? We've seen that with transgenderism. We've seen that with the, don't, with the, he said, I mean, be silent. Don't talk about anything. Gays in the military. All of that, right? We've seen that, and it just continues that the armed services utilize the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, every freaking department that's out there that's basically meant to protect the country, to protect the United States of America from enemies, both domestic and foreign. But instead, it's an experimental lab, folks. For every social phenomenon that occurs, they want to run it through the armed services. Anyways, we hope you appreciate our brothers and sisters in arms. We are always backing the blue. We back the military. We back everything about them, the sacrifices that they've made. We want to thank them, for that, for them, their spouses, their children, their families, because they're done something that we can never repay. And all we can do is offer them our thanks and blessings that they stay safe and they continue to watch our backs. And we really appreciate all you do in every corner of the armed services of the United States of America. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you as well. Anyways, folks, that's it. We want to thank you. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir, and I'll leave you with my final thoughts, which is, when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again, folks. Take care and stay safe.